What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another morning motivation. This one is going to be more of a live analysis of how I actually hit 70 burpees by accident, air quotes, today. So let me get all of the potential, because I wasn't sure, depending on the title, what would come out of this. So get all the potential clickbait out of the way, because that's not what the point was. I don't have a video of showing you it. So I don't have no proof. You're just gonna have to take my word for it over the last month that I've been talking about this. But that probably now warrants me actually showing proof that I can actually do it. So that's probably another situation there. So yeah, I don't got a video of it. Take my word for it until we actually set something up so I can actually show it to you. Second thing is I'm not going to like try to show you how to do one. There's so many other videos that are out there, so that too. So let's just get those two things out the way. This is not a how to do a burpee video, and it's also not a let me show you how I actually made all 70. Like, here's the proof. We're gonna analysis. We're gonna analyze how I actually ended up doing it. So here's what it is. And as a matter of fact, let's just do it this way. Because I really believe that it was not on accident. There were a few things that needed to happen for me to even hit 70 without that being my goal for today. My goal for today was 69. That was the goal. Tomorrow was 70. So somehow we hit 70. How is that even possible? Well, I want to say this. I want to say that if you have a particular goal in mind, you probably many times will hit it sooner than later because of a few things. Now, I don't know maybe in particular what those things are for you, but here's what it is for me. I'm just going to switch over here so I can show you. So the first thing is this, and it's going to sound so simple. It's going to sound so ridiculous to some of you. My handwriting is terrible, so just bear with me here. The first one is consistency. A long time ago, I met Eric Thomas and had him sign my book. And what I usually did during that time was I had authors just put a word in my book that was inspirational, something that was game changing for them, or, just something that they felt impressed to write in my book. So not only did they sign it, but they, on any part of the book, they would put an actual word. So I think I also did that with like Malcolm Gladwell and some other people, like people, right? So he put in my book, and it's kind of cool because I kept it closed until, you leave, have that suspense to see what he wrote, and opened it up. And the word was consistency. That's the first one. And actually, I think he wrote consistent, right? But consistency is really what we're going to talk about for this first piece. Is I wasn't doing this just by happenstance. I didn't just one day wake up and say, okay, let me just go ahead. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was dreading the fact that I had to do last night, like that I had to wake up and do the exercise. I didn't want to do it. And it's not necessarily I didn't want to do it. I was fearing the reality that it's going to hurt, because every morning it does, and not hurt in like a in a sore muscular way, not in a like I have to go to the hospital type of pain. So that's the first one, guys. The first one is I actually woke up every morning. This is my streak. Today makes 107 days straight. That's my first one, guys. It's crazy, but it really isn't. And out of those 107 days, I would say, because I'm gonna be real with you, not every day was a burpee day. Like when in the very, very beginning, it was just like, let me just do these 10 pushes and get it out of the way. But then I got consistent. A few months in, or a couple weeks in, it got consistent. So from one point, from just doing like, I'm just gonna do some push-ups and then maybe some burpees or a few. Then it got to, let me just do 10 every day. And then it got to when we started talking. And this is where it got interesting, where I was like, you know what? Let me do, it was like a plus. I think this is what I was sharing with you guys, this idea of a +1 every day, right? So just adding it. And so eventually, I hit 30, and then I hit 40, and then I hit 50, and then I hit 60 last week, and now 70 today. So that's the first thing that happened, right? Consistency is number one. Number two is this, and we're just analyzing this together. And I'm just trying to use my own personal experience to share with you and to show you what, how this all coalesced, how it all manifested for today. If I really had to sit down and think about what did I actually do, and if you probably have done this in the comments and this probably has happened to you, let me know. Feel free to share how you might have stumbled upon your success. I would say the second thing is not just showing up every day and doing it, but it's this idea right here. So I'm going to pull that across and talk about uh, Jamie Pottinger. If you guys don't know him, you need to check him out. He actually talked about this in one of his latest YouTube videos. I'll put his name here. Jamie, forgive me. I don't know if your name is spelled with a Y or if it's like actual Jamie, but J Pottinger Associates. Okay, so check him out. Literally, you can go on YouTube and just put in J Pottinger Associates. I almost guarantee you he will show up. Not many people have last name Pottinger. So put in Pottinger Associates and his name will pop up. He talks about a growth mindset. So for me, this growth was just doing one extra one every day. So that should be a plus. Plus one every day. Okay. Every day, just do just one. That's all you need. Just one extra one. And after a while, it's going to compile. And Darren Hardy calls it the compound effect, where eventually you and I love this idea of you pumping water, like those old school wells that you keep, just have to pump the water, and there's nothing that's coming out until eventually one day, not one day, but at on one moment, there is a sputter, and then from the sputter there's a flow, and then you can't stop the flow. I mean, of course you can stop it, but like it's really a force to be reckoned with. Now you have drawn up all of that pressure for the water to be drawn out of the well. This 1+ daily is something that is key. And it doesn't have to be +1. Maybe it could be +2. But I think that every day, just choose to do a little bit more, a little bit extra. Jamie talks about this idea of being flexible. So you have to choose to be flexible. Now, is there a chance, or is there a time or a season when you might plateau? Yes. It's reality. It's life. Will I stay at 70? Probably not, because I'm going to tell you what happened next. This is what happened next. The next one is I chose to focus, and this is how it really happened. And this is where I have to ask myself. This is the big one here. Did I really hit it, or did my mind shift the numbers? So I had to start counting aloud more. And when I say aloud, like not like loudly, but just loud enough for me to know that these are the numbers. Because if I kept it in my head, you have all of these other thoughts that are going on. Whether or not you believe it, you don't fully focus on the number. There are so many different things. I actually, in between the rep, the squatting, the kicking out, and the pulling back in, and the jump, like I had to say to myself, let's do the next one, or you're getting stronger. Like I had to say that, because if I didn't, it would be more difficult. There was a point where it started to get really tough. It got really difficult, and I was focusing. It was almost like it was subconscious. I focused past the actual goal. In this case, it was a number. I didn't even realize that I did it, guys. So at one point, when I hit 70 and I was going to go down again, and in my mind, I was like, okay, this is 71. And I said, oh, hold on, wait a minute. 71. We good. That's it. I'm done. I'm tapping out. And here's the thing. I was able to, I felt the weight of, or the sluggishness. And I was like, why am I feeling so sluggish? I'm only in the 60s. Like, how is this even possible? Of course you're only in the 60s. But in my mind, it wasn't 69 I was getting to. At one point, maybe at 65, maybe 66, it was like, it has to be 79. That I don't know how that shifted. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. I don't know if I was delusional and maybe I was still in the 50s. No, I wasn't I know for sure I wasn't in the 50s, but maybe somehow I thought I hit 70, but I didn't. But this is where you have to trust yourself, number one. And number two, sometimes if not all the time, when you really get to a certain number, and this is where I'm eventually going to have to get, you're going to need somebody who's going to be your spotter, whatever you want to call it, trainer, the person who's going to hold you accountable. So that can be anything. Like it can be a watch, it can be an actual person. Right now I have neither. Right now it's just me calling the audible, but eventually you're going to need that. But that's like after. Number 3 is I found a way without even realizing it to think about not just 69, but to think about 70. And I hit 70. And I knew, let me tell you how I know I hit that, because when I get to that +1, it's so difficult. Everything before that also is difficult, but it's not as challenging as the last one, the last 2. So the fact that it was so stressed, like just trying to get it out. And then I hit 70 without realizing it until actually calling it out. I said, oh, wow, okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. So that's the 3 things, guys. It's not that, I don't think it's that deep. Number 1 is you got to be consistent. Like this wasn't something that happened overnight. As you can see, this took some time, right? And not only that, but it wasn't even perfect. There were some days I don't even think I did a burpee in the beginning. I just did some sort of resistance training just to get the day started, right? And I don't even think it was in the morning sometimes. So I was like, you know what, let me just knock these out during lunch or something like that, right? So then we went to, okay, let's be consistent. I can handle 10. Let's do 10. And then I went to 15. And then I went to 20. And then I actually started doing the +1. Okay, so eventually I did 10, plateaued, 15, and just kept it comfortable. And then I was like, you know what? Let me do one every day so that I can actually meet a particular goal. And the goal was at the end of the year, I'd end up doing 90. That goal ain't happening yet. Well, let me not say it's not happening. It's not necessary to happen. I'm okay with number 2, as long as I'm doing 1 every day. And now I've shifted. Instead of doing it 6 days a week, I'm only doing it 5. And putting all in on the 5. So that too. So every day, Monday through Friday. It used to be Sunday through Friday, but now it's Monday through Friday. I'm okay with that goal. Now, do I have a particular goal in mind? Yes, I think it's wise to have a specific goal. I think that's helpful. But if you just have this +1, I think you're good, at least until you really need to have a hard number to say, okay, this is what I'll reach. And the reason why sometimes a lot of us don't need a specific number just yet is because as soon as we hit it, we'll tank. We'll just kind of plateau. It's like, okay, I hit the number. Just keep going. Okay. Number 3, here is the focus. Here is the thing for me that really made the difference. I was struggling, not realizing that I had already passed my goal. So I hit 69, but I'm thinking somehow, I guess in my mind, that it wasn't 69, that maybe it was, I don't know what I was thinking. But when I verbally called out the number, and this is for me, I had to actually start verbally calling out the number, because if I didn't, my mind would say, you're good. It's okay. It's all right. You did your best. No, call it out. Call out the actual number if you don't have number 4, which is that spotter or that watch, that piece of technology or something that's going to hold you accountable and that you know how much you actually have done. Right, guys? So that's how I accidentally hit 70 today. That was it. Number 1, consistent. 2, +1 daily. 3, focus past the goal. And then 4 is what I now need to focus on. You're going to get to a point. Here's how we're going to end this, guys. You're going to get to a point where you won't be able to do it by yourself. And I think I'm getting to that point. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to need some sort of assistance, something that's going to track a little bit more specific, something that's going to keep me a little bit more accountable, especially during the reps, so that I can actually sustain a higher number. So I think it's the same thing with business. I think it's the same thing with school. I think that's why when you do your doctorate, and hopefully we're gonna get there, guys. Hopefully you're gonna get there. So, oh, by the way, so this is the last week of the MBA. The last week, y'all. We in the last week. So I just want to say that. And your boy finishing strong. So there's that. But with doctorates, they have cohorts. There's a reason why on that kind of level, you have specific groups of people that you actually do the program with. Certain amount of people that they only allow in the program. You got to have your people. You got to have your spotters. You got to have the people that are with you who are going to sustain you at a certain level. And I think it's the same way with exercise. Same way with business. If you want to be a freelancer, cool. If you want to actually grow something that's scalable, that's beyond just you, you're going to need other people. You're going to have to learn how to be the person who knows how to hire and fire and manage versus the person who's actually going to be doing the work. That's just the reality. All right, guys. So, hey, listen, this today, this morning really inspired me. I actually was going to be on here and tell you guys, listen, this is going to be the last morning motivation. I'm thinking I'm going to try to do something different. I'm looking at different algorithms and analytics and seeing what works and what doesn't. But then today hit and I was like, I got to share this with y'all. I don't know. This is just something that hit. So yeah, guys, it's already Thursday. Make it a thoughtful one. And don't think about Friday just yet. I just talked about focusing past the goal. Your goal isn't to make it to Friday. Your goal is to make today the best day. Make today the best day. Friday will come, and then y'all can enjoy the weekend. I'll see y'all later.